One officer yanks him by the neck and drops his semi-conscious body on an examination table.
You do not want to go to prison. In this video, we're going to see some corrections officers who work for a sheriff's department kill an inmate, murder an inmate. And it's a lot of them. It's like a dozen. And where are the good cops? Where was some? And it's insane, man. Let's just jump right into it. It's really sad.
There is growing outrage today over the death of an inmate in a New York State prison who was brutally beaten by more than a dozen correction officers. Detainee advocates are concerned it's part of a larger culture of violence within the state's correctional system. Laura Barone-Lopez has our look and a warning to our viewers. The video, which we will show only in part, is very disturbing.
Body cam footage shows Robert Brooks repeatedly kicked, punched, and choked after arriving at the Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. Brooks had been serving a 12-year sentence for an assault in 2017. It is unclear why he was transferred to the Central New York prison. At one point, one officer yanks him by the neck and drops his semi-conscious body on an examination table. The beating lasted roughly 20 minutes. Brooks died the following morning. In a statement, an attorney for the Brooks family said, Mr. Brooks was fatally, violently beaten by a group of officers whose job was to keep him safe. He deserved to live. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has requested the termination of 13 guards and one nurse implicated in the assault. After visiting the facility where Brooks was beaten, Governor Hochul released a statement yesterday, saying in part, "The system failed Mr. Brooks, and I will not be satisfied until there has been significant culture change." In the aftermath of Brooks's death, community leaders and activists are calling for justice and reform.
Just because individuals are incarcerated doesn't mean that they give up their rights to be human beings.
Now let me ask you this. Do you think that if that body camera was not rolling and this didn't get captured on video, would there be any possibility of accountability? Of course, the answer is no. The larger concern is there were, 13, 14 different correctional staff there, officers, and one nurse. And
Brooks were previously accused of beating inmates in a similar manner. As of today, none of the 14 employees implicated have been charged with wrongdoing. But New York State Attorney General Letitia James promised a full investigation.
Because I have a responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones, and all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability.
Authorities have not released an official cause of death for Brooks, but according to court documents, the medical examiner's preliminary findings show, quote, concern for asphyxia due to compression of the neck. Robert Brooks was 43 years old.
Just sickening. And to the bootlickers that are always like, well, there is all these good cops. Where was the good?
Of a black inmate at an upstate New York prison that was caught on body cam videos.
And David Kingsley was among several other officers involved in the attack on Robert Brooks's life at Marcy Correctional Facility last December. A jury in October found Kingsley guilty after they were shown footage of him holding Brooks, who was in handcuffs by the neck, and lifting him as officers surrounded him. Yesterday, Brooks's son and brother shared their impact statements in the courtroom.
Last December, I watched you beat my father to death on camera. You showed my dad no mercy at all.
My brother used to say, to err is human, to forgive is divine. For us, forgiveness will take a long road, just like the path through grief and the trudge towards justice.
Special prosecutors say the case marks the first time a New York State correctional officer has been convicted and sentenced for an inmate's murder.
Yeah, it's the first time because they've been getting away with it for decades and decades and decades and decades, just killing inmates. Obviously, it's because now we have body cameras. Now we have video cameras. And even though we have body cameras and video cameras, we only caught this situation by chance because the officer was so stupid and left his body camera on. These cops know where the blind spots are. Just because there's cameras inside of jails, these cops know where the blind spots are, where they can do stuff like this. These cops, they know how to cut their body cameras off, mute their body cameras. This is literally just lucky. Even all the cameras and stuff, they still do this and they still do workarounds. How do we live in a society where we constantly see cop videos where they're cutting off the camera. Why is that not a felony? You have an active situation going on, and then they're allowed to just turn it off. And then when the case gets to court, we're having court cases with judges and stuff, and it's just looked at as though, hey, cut it off. And so